There's a fire burn the fire brigade. Our souls tonight, we are losing this fight. Our souls tonight is
Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Alpha Prime of Prime Union, part of the Prime Union family of alliances, and this is part 3 of a 3-part series. And parts 1 and part 2, I talked about my 4-star bots, which bots were the best bots of the game, and which bots should we spend our spark on. And in this third part, I'm going to focus mainly on my 3-star bots. So without further ado, let's get into my 3-star squad. Now, I don't have every single bot maxed out or at a really high level as a 3-star because I have a lot of the 4-stars, right? So I haven't had a chance to level up all the 3-stars to a super high level, but I will touch up on which ones I think are the best 3-star bots in the game. And typically, a lot of the interesting 3-star bots don't have, like, there's some of them that don't, that only need spark to level their special abilities. So they're not dependent on, for example, the level that they are. So for example, like a gunner like Warpath here as a 4-star, his velocity shell, if you were to spend spark on it, it would go up a little bit, but it also goes up according to level. And that's very different from say, like a bot like Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper's another gunner, but his gas rockets are the same no matter what level you're at. You just have to spend the spark to level them up. So yeah, so there are some useful 3-star bots that can serve a good purpose for you, and you don't have to spend a ton of time leveling them, and their abilities are still pretty decent. So those are the bots that we're going to talk about that I think are pretty useful. And we'll also talk about my favorite 3-star bots that I still use at a high level. And the number 1 bot that I use a lot at a high level is a 3-star Optimus Prime. Now, my Optimus Prime, I just leveled it to 51. And as you can see here, he's got a decent amount of health. And that inspiring charge is a little bit lower, which is great because you don't want him to crush those walls because the bots won't follow him, right? So you want to keep that inspiring charge as low as possible. So 3-star Prime is actually a pretty decent alternative if you want Prime to die, or you don't need Prime to have a lot of life. And you just have to slap on a G1 core if you want him to survive, say, for example, a Deathsaurus attack or something like that. So that G1 core and that Prime are a deadly combination. And if you get a G1 core, slap that on Optimus Prime as soon as you can. Another 3-star bot that I really like is Grimlock. Grimlock is someone who he's been with me through a lot, and I use him a lot, and he's good for like rush lines still in his own 12-13. I can still use my 3-star Grimlock, but for those walls that are in HQ 15 or 16, he has no hope of crushing them as a 3-star. So use him cautiously. I wouldn't spend too much spark on him, but as you can see there, from a level 5 ability, he deals 1800 damage at level 51, which is pretty decent. Hotspot is a bot that you're just using him for his reflective shield, and that shield there doesn't last as long as a 4-star, but it still reflects 50% damage. So if you can't one-shot something, you bring Hotspot into battle first, pop those outposts, and then the defenses will start firing at Hotspot, and then you'll be able to weaken those defenses enough to one-shot them with your gunners or your jets. Another 3-star bot that I really like is Cup. Cup, he's got that special to teleport, so he just has a little bit less life and less damage as a 3-star bot, but he can solo a lot of bases still, so he's very, very useful if you're on a budget and you're just trying to power level another bot that is hard to level. You just stick Cup on a line and solo the base with Cup, and then drop another bot at the end to get that experience. So I like 3-star Cup a lot. And the rest, I really like my healers. I use these 3-star healers quite a bit. And so, but you don't need to get their special abilities too high. But I like their healing abilities. You can see there, my Wheeljack deals 174 health per second, which is pretty decent. You know, these are pretty decent healers. So for his Zone 13 line, I am still grinding out medals in Zone 13. So I'll show you my my Zone 13 war line that I use, and you'll notice that I use quite a bit of 3-star bots on that line. So let's take a look at that squad here. So here is my 3-star healer line, and I just use 3 random gunners that I need to level up a bit, and then a jet and a tank. and that can take out a Zone 12, or sorry, a Zone 13 base. 99% of the time, I don't have a problem with these bots that you see right here. So if you want, you could try and put in substitute another kind of flyer. I like to have a flyer in there just to deal that damage to targets that are far away, like missile launchers, and some people might put in a 3-star jet, and I've got Jetfire at level 51, which is interesting. At level 5 airstrike, he can deal 2,700 damage. So if you don't have a 4-star Jetfire, if you got that up to level 6 ability, you got 28 right there. And if I just slapped on a silver enhanced ordnance to give me up to 20% more, like 4% more damage, then I'm able to get close to one-shotting some maxed defenses like missile launchers and lasers and stuff like that. So Jetfire, I would proceed with caution with him, but he's great for special ability points. And if you don't have a 4-star jet, Jetfire is definitely a good bot to go with. And another 4-star jet is Skydive here. Skydive, I haven't leveled him up as much, but you can see there, at level 4 and at 47, he can already deal 2,500 damage. So he's a pretty decent bot, and someone that you can, use on a war line if you don't have 4-star jets. Another bot that I really like is my 3-star Trax. And 3-star Trax, his ability is, I don't have a 4-star, so I have to use this 3-star, and I used it a lot during that special raid that we got to test out. A few of us got to test out that special raid mode that's coming to the game really soon, and I use Trax a lot as a 3-star. It was blocking 80% before, now it's only 50% as a 3-star, which kind of sucks, but you got to go for that 4-star if you want that higher blocking damage, or the higher special ability block. And of course, with his special ability, it only goes up according to how much spark you use, so you don't have to level it up to huge numbers in order to take advantage of his special ability, which is what I really like. I deploy my Trax last, and I don't really care about his life too much, because his job is just to use that smoke bomb and protect my bots. And Rodimus, or Hot Rod, is the same way. Hot Rod, if you don't have the 4-star, his 3-star is pretty decent. As you can see here, I can get that up to 9 seconds at level 4 Spark. And so that's 9 seconds of invulnerability, which is really nice if I'm trying to pop outposts and I want that bot to die. So you just send Grimlock in, he'll crush those walls, and then I pop that Matrix on him so he takes no damage from those outposts. And you've got a pretty healthy team going in, popping all the outposts so they don't damage your gunners and your healers. So if you don't have a 4-star Hot Rod, 3-star Hot Rod is very decent. My favorite gunner is Alpha Bravo. Alpha Bravo is someone who he's got a pretty high damage for a special ability as a 3-star. As you can see here, mine's only level 48, and he deals 2,000 damage over an area. So if I only had a 4-star gunner, and I didn't have a 3-star gunner, I don't have a 4-star, this 3-star can get the job done. As you can see there, if I just leveled up his special ability a little bit more, I can get it up to 2,100 basically. And once I hit it over 51, he should be getting close to 2,500 damage from his special ability, which is decent. And all you need to do is just equip one of those gunner cores on them. So one of these volatile mixtures, for example, that's another 8.5% damage that Alpha Bravo can do as a 3-star. And I don't use my 3-star anymore, so that's why you're noticing that I don't have a core on my Alpha Bravo. But let's just see here. If we just put that silver volatile mixture on him, that's just a negative 4% right there. So that's just like one extra level of ability, and I get that up to 2,088 damage over an area. And say if I was to max this out, that can get me up another 4.5%. So another 4% is another 100 damage more. So that's pretty decent, and I just need to get level up Rocket Barrage up a little bit more, and you can start taking down some higher level mortars, lasers, and missile launchers. So that's it for my 3 stars that I think are really, really good. There's a few others that, like Star Saber. And Star Saber, I don't have mine at a really high level, but I'll show you a picture of a Star Saber at a really high level. And Lito 1 is the same. And Tiger Hawk and Skylynx are 4 bots that are really good 3-star bots and can serve a good purpose if you don't have the 4-star. So let's go ahead and take a look at some screenshots that I saved for you guys. So let's going to go over it to the gallery here and take a look at those bots. So here we go. Here is a 3-star Star Saber at level 53. And as you can see there, he deals 1,491 damage for the level 6 Blazing Storm, which is pretty good. And you just have to level it up a little bit more, and you can get closer to 2,000 once you start leveling Saber up a little higher. And I don't have a high shot of a 3-star Skylynx, but Blitzwing is the Decepticon version, and they're basically the same. And you look at that damage. If you combine the 2 Flame Strike and the Plasma Shroud, you're looking at 4,600 damage, enough to take out a gold max mortar. So a mortar with a gold armor core on it. You can take it out with Blitzwing 3-star. So this is good enough for Cybertron Wars, guys. This is one of the 3 stars that I think are one of the best in the game for sure. So other bots that I've seen that are pretty good are like 3-star Tiger Hawk. That's another really good bot. And we'll have to see how that one turns out. I haven't seen a screenshot of a 3-star Tiger Hawk really high, but it's still pretty decent because he does that damage over in whole area. So him and Swoop are pretty good 3-star bots. If you don't have the 4-star counterparts, they're still pretty decent to use at a high level. But again, not for Cybertron. Cybertron Wars, I'll be very honest with you, there's only a few 3-star bots that can cut it. 3-star Cup, 3-star Optimus Prime, and 3-star Skylynx / Blitzwing. Those are probably the better 3-star bots. And if you don't have a 4-star Trax, then that 3-star Trax can help you get the job done. But other than that, those are just a handful of 3-star bots that I think are useful at a high Cybertron level of play. But I wouldn't recommend really investing into 3 stars too much unless you don't have a ton of bots and you're not on a limited budget with your Transformers. Okay, well that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. At 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do another giveaway and give away a little gift card, and we have a Transformer to give away as well. Okay, thanks a lot. This is Alpha Prime Union. Peace out.